The richest man in the city watched from behind the glass doors of his own luxury store as a starving woman knelt in the dirt, searching through discarded boxes for something she could eat. He had built an empire worth billions, yet in that moment he realized there was a kind of poverty his money had never allowed him to see. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances, please like this video, leave a comment, share this story with someone who needs a reminder that compassion still exists, and subscribe to our channel so we can continue sharing emotional journeys that inspire the heart. For years, the name Everett Caldwell had represented success, ambition, and unimaginable wealth. At 46 years old, he was the founder of Caldwell and Company, a company that had transformed from a small family business into one of the most respected luxury retail brands in the country. His stores stood on the most expensive streets, surrounded by glass buildings, expensive restaurants, and people who measured success by the things they owned. To the public, Everett was a symbol of achievement. Magazine covers called him a visionary. Business leaders admired his discipline. Young entrepreneurs studied his methods. But behind the carefully tailored suits and polished image was a man who had slowly forgotten what life looked like outside his world of comfort. Everett had not always been wealthy. He grew up in a modest neighborhood where his parents worked long hours to provide simple meals and a safe home. His father had repaired old furniture, and his mother had worked at a local bakery. They taught him that a person's value was never determined by money, but by how they treated others. However, after losing both parents and taking full control of his company, Everett became consumed by expansion, competition, and protecting everything he had built. Somewhere along the way, he stopped noticing the struggles happening just beyond the walls of his stores. One afternoon, while visiting his newest flagship location, Everett noticed something unusual behind the building. It was a quiet area where delivery workers left empty boxes and unused supplies. Usually, nobody paid attention to that corner because it was hidden from customers and away from the polished appearance of the storefront. But that day, Everett saw a woman searching through the discarded items with careful desperation. She was not causing trouble. She was not asking anyone for money. She was simply trying to find something that could help her survive. Her name was Maribel Hayes. She was 38 years old and had once been a hard-working office manager who took pride in being independent. Years earlier, she had a stable job, a small apartment, and plans for a peaceful future. But after a series of painful events, including the sudden loss of her husband and the medical bills that followed, everything slowly collapsed. She spent her savings trying to keep herself standing. She searched for work again and again, but gaps in her employment history and the weight of her circumstances made every opportunity disappear. Eventually, she lost her apartment and found herself living from one uncertain day to the next. Maribel was not someone who had given up. That was what made Everett stop and watch. Even while struggling, she organized the things she found, separating what could be recycled from what could not. She looked around carefully before taking anything, almost as if she was afraid of disturbing someone. There was dignity in her actions, even during her lowest moment. Everett saw a person who had been forgotten by society but still carried kindness inside her. At first, Everett assumed someone else would help her. He believed there were charities, organizations, or government programs that would step in. He had donated large amounts of money before, often through official events where cameras captured his generosity. But standing there quietly, watching Maribel search for food behind his store, he felt something he had not felt in years. He felt ashamed. The woman outside was not a statistic. She was not a problem to solve with a financial report. She was a human being who had a story, memories, fears, and dreams. Everett suddenly remembered his own mother saving leftover bread at the bakery because she believed no food should ever be wasted. He remembered his father giving away repaired furniture to families who had nothing. For the first time in a long time, he questioned whether he had become successful while losing the very values that had once shaped him. Instead of walking away, Everett approached Maribel carefully. He did not treat her like a charity project or someone beneath him. He listened to her story and learned about the years she had spent trying to rebuild her life. He discovered that she had once volunteered at community centers, helped elderly neighbors, and spent weekends teaching children basic computer skills. Her situation had changed, but her heart had not. Everett offered her immediate help, but Maribel hesitated. She had experienced enough disappointment to know that some people offered kindness only when others were watching. She did not want pity. She wanted a chance. That simple truth stayed with Everett. He realized that giving someone money might solve a problem for a moment, but giving someone dignity could change an entire life. The next week, Everett made a decision that surprised everyone around him. Instead of making a public donation or holding a large charity event, he created a new program inside his company focused on helping people who had fallen through the cracks. He asked his team to build opportunities, not just provide temporary assistance. The program offered training, employment support, and a path back into stable living. Maribel became one of the first people hired through the program. She started working in the customer support department of Caldwell & Company. Some employees doubted her at first because they only knew the story of the woman found behind the store. They did not know the intelligent, patient, and determined person behind that difficult moment. Slowly, they began to see her abilities. She solved problems, supported co-workers, and treated every customer with the same respect she wished others had shown her. As months passed, something unexpected happened. Everett's company began changing from the inside. Employees who once focused only on sales started volunteering in their communities. Managers began creating fairer hiring practices. People who had struggled silently found the courage to ask for help. The company became known not only for expensive products but for the compassion it showed toward people who needed a second chance. The public eventually learned about Maribel's story, but not because Everett wanted attention. Someone who witnessed the transformation shared it online, and the story spread throughout the city. People were moved by the image of a billionaire who had once looked past suffering but chose to open his eyes and change. Many praised Everett, but he always believed the real hero was Maribel, because she had survived hardship without allowing it to destroy her kindness. However, the journey was not without challenges. Some critics accused Everett of trying to repair his reputation. Others claimed his actions were simply a business strategy. Those comments hurt him, but Maribel reminded him that genuine change was not measured by what strangers believed. It was measured by the lives that became better because someone cared enough to act. One afternoon, months after their first meeting, Everett visited the same area behind the store where he had found Maribel. The place looked completely different. It had been transformed into a small community garden and support center where local residents could receive food assistance, career guidance, and resources during difficult times. The same corner that once represented loneliness had become a place where people found hope. Everett stood there and realized that the greatest achievement of his life was not the billions he had earned or the buildings that carried his name. It was the moment he finally understood that success meant nothing if it could not be used to lift others. He had spent years building a powerful company, but Maribel had taught him how to become a better person. Maribel also found healing. She eventually moved into a comfortable apartment, rebuilt friendships, and began helping others who faced the same struggles she once endured. She never forgot the hardest days of her life because those memories allowed her to recognize pain in others. Instead of hiding her past, she used it as a reminder that every person deserved compassion. The city changed because of one simple moment. A billionaire looked beyond a dirty street corner and saw a person instead of a problem. A woman who had lost almost everything reminded a powerful man that kindness was the greatest form of wealth. Their lives crossed by accident, but the impact lasted far beyond either of them. Before this story reaches its ending, please take a moment to leave a meaningful comment sharing what lesson touched your heart the most. Was it the importance of kindness, the power of second chances, or the reminder that every person has a story we may never see? Your words might inspire someone else who needs hope today. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Because sometimes the people we overlook are the ones who teach us the greatest lessons. Wealth can buy comfort, success can create influence, and achievements can build a legacy, but compassion is what gives life true meaning. Everett Caldwell thought he was the one changing Maribel's future, but in the end, she was the one who changed his forever. The woman searching through discarded boxes behind a store gave a billionaire something no amount of money could purchase: a heart that remembered how to care.